Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fearless Female Entrepreneurs, where you will receive expert advice and inspiration from 20 fierce feminine leaders and entrepreneurial experts who want to help you supercharge your power as a feminine thought leader and ignite your own powerful rising. I am Jocelyn Mercado, your host for this event, and I am so excited today to welcome Sofiah Thom. Welcome, Sofiah. Thank you so much for being a part of this. Oh, I can't hear you. Let's see. Okay. Um, okay, beautiful. So, yes. So let me welcome everybody who is joining the event now. And so for all those who are joining, please go ahead and put your name and location into the chat so we can see where you're all calling in from. Always wonderful to see our global group coming together here. And don't be shy. We want to welcome you. All right. Welcome, Louise in Illinois. I know there are more. I know there will be more joining. Wonderful. Yeah, welcome everybody. So, Sofiah, let me introduce you to everyone. Sofiah Thom is an embodiment coach, author, sacred movement artist, and entrepreneur committed to guiding women to embody their feminine power. She is the creator of the Temple Body Arts School of Sacred Sensuality and Dance, offering in-depth immersions and certifications online and in person to help women access their creative potential and live their yes. Alongside her husband, Brendan, Sofiah co-founded the Envision Festival in Costa Rica, a conscious festival celebrating music, art, and yoga. Together, they co-founded Danyasa Eco Retreat, a sanctuary for living artfully in the beautiful beach town of Dominical, Costa Rica. And Sofiah, I want to mention that I am in one of your programs right now. It's the Temple Body Awakening, and I am just so moved. It is so powerful. I've been enjoying it so much. So thank you for all that you do, and welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Jocelyn. It's such a pleasure to have you on the path with us, with other feminine leaders, and just like returning home to the power that lives within our bodies.
Yes, yes.
And welcome everybody. So exciting. Feeling the global sisterhood coming together.
Yes, welcome to everybody. And Sofiah, I love your topic for today, which is lead the way as the graceful warrior. And so to begin, could you tell us a little bit about your journey and how you came to be doing this work to really help women reconnect with our bodies and the power of the feminine?
Yeah. Well, I feel like I really came in with a bit of a head start. I'm very blessed that I was born into a family. My dad was a healer and an author. My mom was doing workshops around the sacred feminine when I was a teenager. And so I kind of had that awareness around me that, there was something more, that, that we were sacred as the feminine. And so I'm very, very grateful for that. I've always loved to dance. So dance was my absolute passion. And I discovered that there was dance therapy when I was in my early 20s, and I remember just like crying when I discovered it. I was like, there's actually something called dance therapy. And because I knew I was here to heal, and dance was my absolute passion. And so I went into that field and really got to discover the power within in the dance when we shifted the lens from, getting to a certain level of ballet and modern and all of this, like in the dance world that I had been in previously, to actually really exploring dance as this healing path and as a way of returning home. And like it was those moments in the dance where I felt just completely free and myself, and like there were no thoughts, and I was me, and I was nothing at the same time. It was just this incredible feeling of really freedom and connection to something bigger and something greater. And so I would say that that's really been the thread, and so following that and taking me on this whole journey for the last 20 years of kind of gathering tools and expressive healing arts and yoga and working with the goddess embodiment, bringing those through. And really, it was through the body. And there's been so much that I've created with, the Envision Festival and doing yoga teacher trainings, but all of this while feeling like there's something else that wants to birth through me. And I kind of kept staying like small and safe. I was like, well, I'll just offer this, like the sacred embodiment, like within a yoga teacher training. And so I kind of kept like staying a little bit small. And it wasn't until I went through a major initiation where I actually I had a miscarriage and I almost lost my life just over a couple of years ago. That really kind of took me to another level where I started to create these temple body arts practices with using the yoni egg, so these beautiful crystals inside the vagina, to help heal from the inside out and reclaim my power, my sexual sovereignty, and really deeply listen to what was wanting to birth through me, like how to move through that loss and into something that wanted to birth through. And that's really how I created all these different practices and ended up finally birthing the Temple Body Art School. So it's been quite a journey to get here.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you for sharing. And I think this is such an important message for all of us that, when we're following that path, that these challenging, really, really challenging things can happen, and to continue to trust and continue to look for the deeper meaning that's there, and where are you being guided.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Yeah. It brought me into such a deep place of, also the shadow, which is so important. It's like we have to be able to really go into those uncomfortable places and into the loss and into the the old stories. And that's like what I love about working deeply with the body, is that our body like holds all of these memories and even what we bring through from lineages before, and that to recognize that we're here like as conscious, fearless, feminine women, to actually like rewrite our story. And it has to happen like through the body. And to see that every experience that you've been through has actually shaped you and brought you to this moment, so that you can then choose. And if we just had this beautiful life of like roses and everything, like we wouldn't actually know, we wouldn't be able to feel the whole of life, like to feel that full integration of the dark and the light, and how all of that brings us together to experience the fullness of life. So yeah, it's important to embrace our initiations and challenges.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So can you share with us, why is it so important for us to be rooted in our bodies, especially as women, and especially right now at this time on our planet?
Mm. Well, we are definitely at a really powerful time. I'm super excited to be alive right now, and there is this amazing rise of the divine feminine, of the feminine. And I think for so long, with feminism, women started to take back their power, but it was more like by trying to be like a man, or trying to keep up with men, or trying to go in the workforce and like, I've got this, and like be basically like men, and really put our feminine power to the side, not talk about our moon cycle or that we bleed, like covering that up, and not allowing us to be like the being that is the feminine way. And so I feel that we're at this time of really actually recognizing that you can be in your feminine power, which is rooted in your body, and lead from that place, and actually be just as successful as any other person or man. I mean, this is our time to really come into the body and embrace also our moon cycle, like the rhythm that we have, whether you're you're still bleeding, you're a menstruating woman, or you've actually moved beyond and you're in menopause. Like, I like to call that the sacred pause. But I teach a lot about really recognizing that we have these different archetypes that we're moving through every single month, every moon. And so, to actually embrace that and see it, it gives us more power, it gives us more strength. It's right now I'm actually in my sacred dreamer time, I call it, which is the time of bleeding. And I had to actually rearrange some things today so that I could be more still and listen, because my body was slowing me down. And it's so important when we can listen. There's actually so much clarity that comes through. Like, that's where our guidance comes. That's where, as an entrepreneur, going out into the world and offering your gifts, like, it's those moments where you actually pause from the doing and from all the lists and from all the things you have to do, and I have to market this and I have to do this and create this flyer. It's like you have to stop all of that and actually carve out time to be with yourself, and to, by moving and being in your body and having an embodiment practice, that's actually where you can receive clarity and guidance. And you strengthen your body, you strengthen your flexibility, because the more that we have that within our own bodies, the more that we have that in our minds and in life. So we gain that, that flexibility through the body, but then it allows us to be able to move through life with more grace as well. And so, I speak about the graceful warrior as really, having, we can have that focus and discernment of the masculine principle, actually, but still embrace the mystery and the magic and the wisdom that is living within our bodies and in our wombs and in our blood, and to really come back home to ourselves through the body, so that we can actually lead from that place rather than trying to lead like, somebody else or like the men, because we're different creatures.
Yeah, and this whole event, has a strong focus on how can we create our businesses in a way that's aligned with who we really are, right? And how can we create our businesses in a feminine way that is not trying to be like, the masculine paradigm that our world is so steeped in. So yeah, this is so important. Well, I have another question for you. How, if someone is listening and is finding it difficult to establish a movement practice, whether it's because of resistance or maybe feeling like they don't have enough experience, what would you recommend to get started? Because we can see why it's so important.
Yeah, to start a movement practice. I mean, well, there's different things. I mean, if you're very new to even being in your body and you're like, okay, I need to connect with my body, then I would suggest, finding a class in your area. And I mean, I find like yoga's amazing, and I've been teaching yoga for 20 years as well. But sometimes yoga can actually be very linear. It can be very like rigid, and you have to get into these positions, you have to hold yourself here. It's a very like should and have to kind of space. That's not exactly how I teach, but if there's a teacher that teaches in a very feminine, fluid way, then I think that can be a beautiful thing. Or going to like a class that's specifically for women, because that will bring through something different. But also, like, I was trained in 5 rhythms, it was started with Gabrielle Roth, and it's a movement practice that guides you through these different rhythms. So flow, staccato, chaos, lyrical, and stillness. And there are many, many classes all over the world. And it's a beautiful way to actually just connect with your body and with movement through these rhythms, and experience where you might need to work on maybe flowing. Or for me, actually, when I started over 20 years ago, I had such a hard time with staccato, which is actually the masculine principle. It's the like, I was just all flow. I had no boundaries. I didn't know how to say no. And it really taught me to it's like when we embody a certain way in the dance, then we're actually able to take that into a life. So it really helped me to find my boundaries, to find my no, so that I could say yes to myself. And so I suggest finding Five Rhythms class. I love it. And somebody says here, love Five Rhythms, Kate. Yes, there's so many different teachers and ways to access it. And then really there comes to that place of, okay, how do I carve out time to just give that to myself? Because sometimes you can't go to a class. And I say just starting the day with even 15 minutes can completely change your day. So you could even just put on, you can actually, I have a Spotify account, just my name, if you're on Spotify, and I have so many different beautiful playlists that take you on journeys, and you can just choose one and start by just sitting and connecting with your breath, connecting with your body, just slowing down, coming into that place of being, letting go of the mind, and then just even just inviting some movements in your body, just inviting some fluid movements through the spine and inviting flexibility. And so even just carving out like 15 to 20 minutes of playing music and just allowing your body to move in whatever way feels delicious is a great way to start. Like, it doesn't have to look like anything, and that's the beautiful thing. It's just connecting with your body and your breath and your movements. Yeah, I hope that helps.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. So what does movement and connecting with our bodies have to do with creating and running our sacred businesses?
Yes. Well, we need to have discernment. We need to have focus. We need to be able to trust ourselves. We need to be able to move through life from a place of confidence. And that true confidence comes from the body. I actually just shared this one of my magnetic Mondays. Every Monday I do a little Temple Body Arts wisdom speak. And yeah, I was speaking about what is it to be in your body, to feel that embodied confidence. And it really comes from being connected to your pleasure and turned on, but not turned on like sexually necessarily, but just turned on and inspired. And that energy actually propels you forward. And it's really important to have that, rather than just from the head, like, okay, well, this is what I'm doing and I'm going to create this, I'm going to do this. And like, we're not going to be able to create this beautiful soulful business from that place of having to do it from the mind. And so the more that you can come from a place of embodied confidence and power and connection and being turned on, I love this, need to be activated in the body. Yes, it's like to feel that activation and that turn on. You know, if you just think about right now, like when you feel most alive and inspired and turned on, like that's the energy that you want to create from. And when you create from that space, then you're going to create this beautiful business, this soulful business that comes from a deep place of who you are, rather than, you know, what you think you should be doing. And so by cultivating, also I spoke about, you know, discernment. It's like that's really what the Graceful Warrior I've been teaching about for over 10 years has been, this beautiful archetype of really helping women to find the sword of discernment, to be able to cut away that which does not serve, all of those thoughts and things and stories that keep you small, that are going to try and prevent you from stepping in and shining your light and coming into your fullness. And also to feel into like what it is that you stand for. What do you literally stand for in your body? So I taught this the other day too. I was teaching a Graceful Warrior workshop here, And I literally had the women like take a stand. Like we were on the ground, and then I was like, okay, take a stand as you feel into what it is that you stand for. So you're actually embodying and feeling that. Because when you have that sense of like, actually, this is beyond me, this is not about me. Like, I'm creating this to be of service for women, to help them awaken into their power, to birth a new paradigm. That's what I stand for. And so to always come back to that, like that just actually helps us to let go of it having to be about us as well. Because I think we can get very stuck on like, oh, but who am I to do this? And like, just all the stupid little voices that are part of being human that try to keep us small, that try to keep us back. And if we can return to feeling that place of like what we stand for in our lives and how we're here to serve, and it's not about us, and it comes from the body, and it comes from this place of like really standing in your truth, then that can really help to guide and lead us in creating something so much bigger than ourselves, to create a movement. Yeah.
I love this. Love it.
You can feel my passion. I'm like, okay,
Yes.
I'm passionate about this.
Yes. So powerful, so important. And yeah, I love that idea of, taking a stand. That's something that I speak about a lot in my business. Like, you have to have your strong stand, even if it's polarizing. That's how you're going to create the change you want to see. But this idea of making that, bringing that into our bodies, taking a stand, and how do we do that, in a physical way as well, to represent that stand we're taking in our business.
Yeah, because I'm just feeling too like I speak a lot about being magnetic. And
Mhm.
so it's like when when you take that stand and you lift your head and you really come into your fullness, it's like your energy, your frequency becomes magnetic, and that's what's going to really support your business to grow, is that belief in yourself and what you stand for, and just returning to that again and again.
Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. So how, for all the women listening, how can we activate the brilliance within us, right? Because we all have this mission and purpose and brilliance that only we can bring forward. And even if we're not yet sure what that is.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I like to look at it as like this creative spark that needs to be nurtured and like, have that flame kind of fanned. And, I think it's really about following what what excites you, what turns you on, like where noticing where you feel energy that's moving you forward. Like I like to say that inspiration is the highest form of living. So to be inspired and to inspire. And so if you feel like you're not yet sure, like, okay, what are my gifts? Like, what is my brilliance? And I like to really share that it's really about actually just being full of yourself, also in this beautiful way, to connect in with your presence. That really is enough. When you can come into your full presence and come into your essence and come into your value as this beautiful soul, and trusting what is it that brings that out, that really like shines that gem. I like to look at it like this inner gem that we can shine with our dance or with our singing or with, I feel like creativity is really what helps to keep that spark alive, because we are all creative beings, like, and it's that creative power, that divine creative spirit, I like to say, that wants to move through our bodies. And so when we can get out of our own way, get out of our heads, then it's like that creative energy can flow through, and we can connect to our own unique brilliance and spark. And so, I mean, I could actually just guide a little meditation right now.
That'd be
Um,
Yeah.
this beautiful meditation, and yeah, it's really also to feel like this dance of the masculine and the feminine as well. And Yeah, so I'd love to do that. Just a couple minutes. Yeah, so I invite you all to get comfortable, to really widen your seat. You can spiral your inner thighs out and find a nice tall seat. And then just taking your hands onto your thighs. And you can take one hand down, one palm down, and one palm up. So symbolizing rooting, grounding, and at the same time opening to receive. And just begin to slow down your breath. See if you can turn off all the other distractions and just bring yourself into this moment. Feel your breath rising and falling in your body. Notice your mind and just invite your mind to quieten down as you exhale. Bring your awareness into the space between breaths. This is actually where pure potentiality lives, where anything's possible. And so just breathing into the space. Feel that space at the top of your inhale before exhaling and emptying everything out. With each exhale, invite yourself to root down just a little bit more. And bring your awareness into your pelvic floor. And imagine you have a beautiful lotus flower. I like to call this the lotus flower yoni portal. So yoni is a Sanskrit word for vagina. And imagine this lotus flower as this portal to your whole temple body. And now see the lotus roots, and let's root down into the earth. So begin to bring your awareness into the lotus roots and go down through the different layers of the earth. Make some sound on your exhale, and with each exhale, allow yourself to go deeper into the earth. Going deeper and deeper and deeper. And feel held and supported by this nurturing mother energy and Mama Gaia and the earth. And then see this beautiful pink rose quartz crystal in the center of the earth and go and wrap your roots around it. Feel the unconditional love here and just breathe it into your roots. Breathe into your roots. And as you exhale, offer up anything that gets in the way of you being connected to yourself, to your body, to your brilliance. Just offer it up to the earth. Breathing in this love, offering up fear, offering up doubt. Any stories of not being good enough. Breathing in this love and staying rooted around this rose quartz crystal, begin to bring your awareness back up your roots through the different layers of the earth as you come to higher and higher ground. As you come towards your lotus flower yoni portal and bring that beautiful earth energy up into your yoni and up into your womb space. Space of creativity, sensuality. You can even take that, your palm that's open, and just placing it on your womb. And imagine bamboo as your whole central core. Imagine this hollow bamboo core from your lotus flower all the way through your body, connecting you into the earth and connecting you to the heavens above, to divine inspiration. And pull the petals of your lotus flower up the hollow bamboo core. And now invite your belly button towards your spine and hug around your bamboo core. Feel your core, feel your strength. Hug everything into the center. Keep hugging around the core. Feel this vertical axis. This is the masculine principle. Your capacity to penetrate, to focus, to cut through. Feel this energy. Feel this principle within you. Opening up your 1,000-petal lotus in your crown, opening up for divine inspiration, opening up to receive and taste your brilliance, opening up to pure consciousness, pure potentiality in the pause between breaths. Feel this line of energy through your whole body, this vertical axis, and see it like the vertical axis of an inner cross. Feel the boundary that it creates by hugging around your core, your bamboo core. Feel the boundary. Feel how it can support you in saying no. Breathing deep. And now bring your awareness into your heart and extend your arms out from your heart. And I want you to imagine that this is your horizontal axis of your cross. So you can actually expand your arms out and feel this wide, expansive energy, your capacity to be open, to flow, to be receptive, to receive, to nurture. Feel this, to give birth to. And just invite subtle movement with your breath. Just let your arms flow a little bit from your heart, from your solar plexus. Breathing in deep, feeling your capacity to be wide and expansive, to give birth to feel this feminine flow, this feminine grace that lives within you. And right in the center of your cross, I want you to feel and imagine your inner gem, holding your essence, your brilliance. And with each breath, polish your inner gem. And you can take your fingertips and just lightly touching on your chest. Just still with eyes closed and just feeling this energy right in the center of the cross. Breathing in deep. Breathing in, and with each breath, you're polishing your inner gem, your diamond, and see what color or shape it is. And allow your breath and attention and awareness to dust off that inner gem. And to feel your essence, your presence, to be full of yourself in the most beautiful light. And just listening here, listening if there's a word or a phrase to really receive a message around your brilliance. Or maybe a word or a phrase that can support you in creating more space to experience your brilliance. Listening to the wisdom that is here within you already. You have everything you need within you. Feeling this inner dance of the masculine and the feminine, that we need both in order to manifest and create. And so I invite you to take time to connect in with your inner cross. It can be your morning practice when you wake up, even still in your bed, and just keep asking to receive, like, okay, what is my brilliance? What am I here? What is it that really ignites me, that inspires me? Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, and then if anybody wants to share in the chat any words that you received, any messages from that, we'd love to hear and see. Yeah, love. Ultimately, we are love, and it's remembering that. And like in every moment, we have a choice. Do we choose love or do we choose fear? And that fear is that contraction and the holding back that keeps us small. But I mean, it does take courage. It does take like embodying that graceful warrior to step out of our comfort zone and actually step into something that's new in order to create, to be an entrepreneur. I mean, it does take being fearless and like stepping into that. I love, the theme of this.
Yeah. Yes. Fearless. Absolutely. Okay. And Kate received trust and softness. Beautiful. Okay. Well, I think we can very soon here, we can open up the forum for Q&A and see if anybody has questions, or also, you're all welcome to share your experience during the meditation. We welcome those comments or any insights that you had. Would be wonderful to hear. But before we do that, I want to share your free gift, Sofiah, that you're offering to the audience. And this is meditation and journal prompts to activate your inner warrior goddess Durga. Would you like to say anything more about that?
Well, Durga, so I've been teaching about the Graceful Warrior for over 10 years, like I said. And about 5 years ago, I discovered Awakening Shakti, this beautiful book that Sally Kempton wrote that's all about the different Hindu goddesses. And when I read about Durga, I was like, oh my gosh, this is the Graceful Warrior. And so it was beautiful to discover that there was already this map and this mythology that really supported women in tapping into that. And so Durga is the Hindu goddess of that warrior goddess of discernment, of being able to really speak your no so that you can live your yes. And so this is actually part of one of my courses that Jocelyn will be coming into, which is called Awakening the Goddess, where I teach about different faces of the goddess. And that's really how we can become into our wholeness to navigate. And so she's such a powerful one in really coming into that place of strength and discernment to carve your way.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much for offering that. And also, I wanted to share, if it's okay with you, the link to your Temple Body Sisterhood Facebook group.
Yes, please. Yeah.
So many beautiful offerings that you share there. I think everybody would really enjoy it. So so for everybody, do you want to say anything about the Facebook group?
Oh, yeah. So the Facebook group, there's about 2,500 women from around the world that are on this group. And really it's all women that are here to awaken into their power and into their bodies. And every Monday I do a live Magnetic Monday, as I was saying before, from 10 a.m. to 10:30 Pacific time. And each week I choose a different theme and I'll speak about it. Sometimes there's meditation, sometimes there's like new moon, full moon rituals, or I'm just like bringing through a different wisdom piece for you and we get to share there. So yeah, you can go on there and you'll see all of the ones there already from weeks past. So it's a beautiful community Yeah.
Yes, it really is. So for everyone who's on live with us, you can just go over to the chat and you can see the link there to Sophia's free gift, as well as the link to her Facebook group. And for everyone who's watching this as a recording, just scroll down a little bit below the video screen and you will see both of those links there as well. Okay, so let's open this up for Q&A. And as I said, we welcome you all to ask a question or also share your experience of this interview and of the meditation. And if you'd like to raise your hand and come on by audio or video, just click on the hand icon that you see there, or you can also type your question in the chat.
And I see Karen wrote here, sacred, no longer scared. With your permission, I would like to offer this meditation at an upcoming yoga session at a women's retreat. Karen, yes, you may do that, you know, in your own way, obviously. And I think it's always nice too to just share where it came from. So you can share that it was inspired by me, Sofiah Thom, and just offering that. Yeah, but definitely we are all here to bring this forth and to share. And so I always like to say to my temple body artists, it's like so important to just honor where, you know, where things are coming from, like the lineage of where we learn things. So please do share, Karen.
Okay, we have a hand raised. Ibtisam, I will bring you over now.
Yay.
All right, let me unmute you. Okay, there you are. All right, now we can see you and hear you. Welcome.
Hello, sister.
Hi, sorry. Oh, what's happened again? Oh, sorry. I'm having a little technical.
Yeah,
I don't know when I come on the video, I sort of lose the screen, so I get a bit. Yeah. All right. Hi, Sophia. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you.
The meditation was so beautiful. Thank you so much. And yeah, you really spoke to me because it's very similar to the kind of stuff I need to do on this whole balancing of masculine and feminine, which is how I met Jocelyn in the first place. And just to share with you that, you know, the lotus meditation that you were doing is something which I've sort of created almost a year ago, but it's really speaking out. Can you see what you were saying? And yeah, it's quite intriguing that, you know, I'd of course not done this as a meditation, but it had kind of come to me. But it was so beautiful, really so beautiful. I think my question is more aligned to, you know, a lot of the speakers and even Marie before you has, you know, talked a lot about trust. I think my question here is, you know, the visibility, and I was doing some journaling yesterday as to where I show up and where, you know, you say come alive, like I come alive with Jocelyn, and I was kind of putting down where do I come alive? What are the things that inhibit me? And this is all a part of my magic model as well. So I see the light and the shadow. And what I realize is the safety is so important. If you don't feel safe, you're never going to open up. It's you know, it's like the whole sexuality thing. You cringe. And then if you try to do it forcefully or, you know, do it in the mind, which is a lot what I used to do, at least, and not listen to the body, you know, let the mind do the talking, which is where I've come away from, and that's why I really respect and honor what you are doing, because it's such a different place from where my journey is or what I learned. My question is still about trauma, because what I have found, and I'm wondering what the wisdom here if you'd share. I found that sometimes when you're trying to break out or when you're trying to be visible, what the original trauma was, the re-trauma sometimes can be far more traumatic than the original trauma when you're not being held. And this is again even from the counseling point of view. How do you prevent that? Because sometimes that happens I'm just trying to figure out what my question is. It's about how do you prevent the re-trauma in your head and in your body? What is the guidance you use? Because if that is I understand the discernment, but
Right. Well, let me ask you this.
mm,
So, mm, I think when there's trauma, I mean, it depends, what it is and what triggers it. But there are beautiful somatic practices to release trauma. And, if you're aware that you're still carrying trauma in the body, or if you're even not aware, but perhaps
mm,
might be, which, many of us are, there's, yeah, there's really powerful embodiment practices and people out there that work with Hakomi is one. Hakomi is a really powerful practice to kind of you're telling the story of the trauma that happened, but in this way where you allow that story to actually move out of the body as you're telling it, and you pause each time there might be a shake or something like in the body. So like say you're saying the story and all of a sudden like your arms start shaking, you would stop the story and you would allow that energy to come out of the body before continuing on. Because what happens is if you're still carrying a lot of trauma in the body, that yeah, there might be something that happens, you're coming out, you're becoming visible, you're putting yourself out there, you're not necessarily held in a safe space, and then something happens, somebody says something and it opens something up. And so it's important to do the work before you get to that place. So if you feel like, okay, putting myself out in this way, it may bring stuff up, I would say that it would be important to do some embodiment somatic work to really heal and to move the trauma through. Because the more that we do that, the more that we can help others obviously as well, and show up in a bigger way. Because the traumas that are still, they take up space in the body, and so if we don't allow them to move out and to create the space for a new story, then they're still going to be there. Does that help?
oh yeah, it definitely helps. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, it really
And
does.
I'm going to write it here, Hakomi.
Mm.
Yeah, you can look that up to see if there's anyone that does that work, and there's other forms too. Oh, thanks, Jocelyn. You wrote that too.
I looked it up for the spelling and I found it. So
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
thank you, Ibtisam. Have a wonderful day. Thanks. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Sophia. Okay, so let's see. Does anybody else have a question? This is your chance. Don't be shy.
Yeah, I love this. I've actually never done it where you bring people on.
Okay, yeah. I love doing these calls. So much fun. Yeah, if anybody else has a question for Sophia, don't be shy. Go ahead and raise your hand or write it in the chat.
This is your time.
Yes.
You can ask me anything.
So often, I don't know. I guess the ideas come through at the last minute for everybody, but I'll say, come, it's your last chance, and nobody raises their hand, and then when it's time to go, they want to ask. So, yeah, find your questions now. This is your chance. Okay. Well, if there aren't any more questions, I will go ahead and close the call. But raise your hand now if you want to. Okay. I don't see any more questions. Maybe everybody's still in their meditations. Still enjoying that space. So yeah, thank you so much, Sophia. This has been really, really beautiful. And yeah, Kate says still integrating. So yeah, is there any last thing you wanted to say, or anything coming up that feels important
for
before
me?
we close?
Yeah, to take time to integrate, to take time to pause, to, yeah, when we're putting ourselves out there and we're becoming visible, there's so much that can come up. And so this work really is a deep spiritual path to put ourselves out there in this way. And even though, you know, speaking about entrepreneurs and creating our business, it's a spiritual path. And so the more that we can do the inner work, you know, and releasing the trauma and letting go of the old stories to come into our own power through the body, the more that we can find the grace in that as well, and continue to keep evolving and keep stepping out of the comfort zone. And also, it never stops. I mean, I'm sure you can agree, Jocelyn, right? It's like,
Yes,
been on this path a long time, and I'm constantly pushing myself, you know, in a feminine way, but like inviting myself to step out beyond the comfort, to keep going, to keep evolving, to keep allowing myself to be seen. And so I just invite you to do the same, like to trust wherever you are on this journey, and know that it is a journey and it is a spiritual path. And so allowing whatever is coming up, trusting that that is part of the journey. And the more that you can show up in the face of whatever's arising and move through it with grace, and keep inviting your body to move and to release and to find that flexibility and strength, the more that you can continue to come into your power and into your body, and into your soul's offering. So yeah, just trust is such an important one. Trust and then surrender. So I leave you with those pieces. And I do see this now, of course, a couple of things here. Do you also allow men in your classes? So most of the work I do is for women, unless I'm at a festival. So actually at Envision next week, I will be teaching a workshop for men and women, which I call the dance of Tantra, very much this masculine and feminine dance. But yeah, I really do like to hold the space with all women. We do a lot of sexual healing, sexual sovereignty work. So it's definitely good to be with all women for that. And with the meditation focus change for a woman, definitely post sacred pause. With the meditation focus. Okay, so yeah, in menopause, I just want to say that when you're in that time in your life, it's actually this beautiful opportunity to recognize that you can hold all of these different archetypes within you, and kind of really come into that embodied queen. So yeah, I work with women who have, you know, moved through that, and many times there's, you know, there's some grief too, because perhaps you didn't have the same consciousness that you had when you were bleeding. But to really move through that, and you know, your focus in meditation is, I mean, it's different for all of us. It's different for whatever you're desiring, what you're needing. But I think as far as connecting into our own essence and the masculine and the feminine, that's always a powerful one for wherever we are in our lives. So yeah, I hope that can help. But I think just remembering that we all need a sacred pause, and you know, we can just get so pulled into the doing and the fast paced and the constantly like, so to like just pause and take moments to be in nature and to reconnect with your body and yourself is so vital.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Okay, well, thank you. And thank you for answering those last couple questions that came in. This has been really beautiful today. So just really appreciate your being a part of Fearless Female Entrepreneurs.
Yeah, my honor, my pleasure. Definitely.
Wonderful.
All of you, to your wombs, to your temple bodies, to your passions and all that you're wanting to create and birth in the world. Yes. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. And for everybody on, since this is the last interview of this conference, so the last live interview, I just want to thank you all so much for attending, whether you've been watching live or watching the recordings. Thank you so much for being a part of this, and know that your dedication to this work, your commitment is already creating a shift in our world. You are already making things happen, whether you can feel it or not, right, in your own life. So trust in that and know that. And I'm just so thankful for each and every one of you who have been attending. And I send you lots of love and many, many, many blessings on all that you're creating in your lives. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you again, Sophia. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Much love to all of you. Thank you, Jocelyn.
Yeah, lots of love. Okay. Bye.